afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Choppin It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, I'm getting a late start today, but I had some errands to run, but better late than never. First of all, I want to thank everybody out there who's been following me. I've been meeting some new friends, so it's great. Friends are becoming friends. People are making friends while following me, so that's a good thing too. Conversations getting heated on my threads. Oh man, that's just great. Y'all don't know, man. I feed off it, your energy. It is so perfect, and I'm glad to be doing this. Hey, shout out to my sister. She said, "What's good, bro?" I'm doing good. Thank you, sis. Call up if you got a question. I appreciate it. Hit me on my phone, and that'll be great. Love to hear from you. Listen, we got so much to talk about, and probably not enough time to get into it, but there's a lot to talk about. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? All right, that's what's up. Good to hear from you. Listen, there's so much to talk about with the NFL in the playoff races, the NBA within a third of the season gone by. So it's so much to talk about, but we're going to get started in the NFL. We have Thursday night football. Every game right now is crucial. I mean, every game, especially for those who are vying for a playoff spot or just vying for playoff positioning. Every game is crucial. You have the New York Giants going down to Philadelphia and taking on my team, the Eagles. I wish the Eagles was playing for something at this time. Unfortunately, they're not. Maybe they're looking at some people, auditioning some people for next year or whatever the case is. But nevertheless, anytime you have a division game, regardless who's in uniform, regardless if one team is in it or one team is out of it, it's always a dogfight, and that's what I expect tonight. I expect the Giants to go in there and try to continue their winning ways because they had a great win against Detroit where the defense stood up last week, but last game, I should say. But one thing about this Eagles team, the defense has been strong all year. I don't look for the Eagles to just roll over. I think that this is going to be a dogfight, and I look for the Giants to probably come out and take this win, but they're going to know that they're in the game. I believe the Eagles is going to play tough. To my man, Ali. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? How you doing? Yeah, happy holidays to you. My sister, shout out to Giants. Go Giants. Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight. And I see that the Eagles, which is my team, you know, they're not going to just roll over. You know, they're going to play. I believe they're going to come out and play. Is that a phone call? No. I believe they're going to come out and play, and they're going to make it tough on the Giants. Now, those who know me, I'm an Eagles fan, I'm a Jet fan. I'm not really a Giants fan, but I am an Odell Beckham fan. And I think this is going to be a game where you got to keep an eye on Odell Beckham. You know my motto. Stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars. And I look for Odell and also Eli Manning to come out and just be aggressive, because here's what I say. When you're playing an inferior team or a team that has nothing to play for, you just want to go out and kind of, get off early so that this way you don't give them any hope or chance and think that they can win this game. Because, like I said, the Giants need this game. The Eagles are just playing for pride. And division foes love to be spoilers. They love to be spoilers. So you got the Giants going down to Philly. That should be a good game. Sunday night on Christmas Eve, you're gonna have a great game. It will not be one of those games that we're used to, but Baltimore and Pittsburgh, that should be a must-see game. It's Christmas night, Christmas afternoon, I should say. It should be a great game. It should be one to watch. I'm going to tell you, I think Pittsburgh comes out ahead on this one. It's in Pittsburgh. The Killer Bees, they've just been given Pro Bowl nods. I look for Ben to come out and be strong. I look for Antonio Brown to be strong. And I look for LaDavian Bell to have a very solid game. So it should be fun to watch. It should be good. If this is the typical old days of Pittsburgh and Baltimore, it would be some hard hitting. But I think this is going to be more of an offensive game. But I do think Pittsburgh is going to come out on top. That's going to be a good game. You know, Miami has been hot. They won 6 of the last 7. They go into Buffalo. I've seen this picture before last year about this time. The Jets just needed a win to get in, and they went up to Buffalo, and Rex Ryan, he wasn't playing for anything. And what does he do? He pulls off the win, and New York misses the playoffs. Shout out to my man Joe Magduzian. He's a big Atlanta fan. He says the defense is getting better every game. They're going to have big momentum going into the playoff. Listen, let me tell you something about Joe. Joe is out in the UK, man. He follows me from the UK. I appreciate the love, Joe. Every time I see you, I got to shout you out, man. Excuse me, I have to shout you out. I look at the Atlanta team. Yes, the defense is getting better, and they're going to be a tough out. I'm going to get to Atlanta shortly, but I just want to finish up on the Steelers game with Baltimore. It's going to be one for, Miami and Buffalo. I'm sorry. Miami and Buffalo. This is going to be a tough game for Miami. It's on the road. It's up in the cold. And again, I believe Rex is going to try to play spoiler here. He's going to pull out all the stops as possible. I look for Buffalo actually to upset Miami simply because I've seen this picture before. It has happened. My nephew, he just shout out, let's go New York Giants. How you doing, Rodney? Hey, give me a call. Speak about it. I'd love to hear from you. But I think Buffalo is gonna upset Miami. Miami's gotta have to come out and be strong. It should be fun to watch. It should be fun to watch. Should be a good game. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of exciting games this weekend. Most of them going to be played on Saturday, so we're going to have a little treat this weekend. In fact, this weekend is a tough sports weekend. Why? You have a bunch of games on Saturday. Then you also have the Christmas 5-game basketball day. And then you have 2 football games on. And then you top it off with Monday Night Football. Detroit goes into Dallas. What a weekend for sports. I tell you, if you got the day off, maybe some whiskey sours or some coquito or whatever your pleasure is, just sit around. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have one or the other sitting by the fire log and hoping not to be disturbed. So it should be a fun weekend, and I hope everybody enjoys it. But so it's a lot of football to be played. Like I said, you got Miami and Buffalo, and then you got also Minnesota and Green Bay. Minnesota has been a strong defensive team all year. Green Bay is on a roll. We've seen this once before from Green Bay. When they went on a roll some years ago, they rolled right into the Super Bowl and won it all. So keep an eye on Green Bay. Of course, this is the team that I was hard on a couple of weeks ago. I thought that maybe it was time for Mike McCarthy to go his way because I thought they weren't responding to him. But it's a different situation. Maybe they watched the show, heard the show, but they seem to have turned it around in the nick of time because it looks like they have a chance for the playoff. It's going to be tough, but right now I believe them and Tampa Bay is ahead of Washington by a half game. So it's going to be interesting. It's a little dicey, but maybe by the end of this weekend, we may have a clearer pitch on it. But Minnesota, they're probably going to play for some pride. You got, I believe, Adrian Peterson is going to play. So it should be interesting. It should be very interesting. It should be interesting what is going on there. I thought I had a call there. I'm sorry. But so you got that game, and then you got Atlanta and Carolina. We seen what Carolina did last week, this weekend against Washington. Now, we don't know what Carolina team is going to show up. Is it going to be the Carolina team that's been awful all season? Or is it going to be the Carolina team from 15-1 in last year? We don't know. Nevertheless, it's a road game for Atlanta, and this is where Atlanta is going to have to come out and be the Pro Bowl that they are. They're going to need Julio Jones. They're going to need Devontae Freeman, and they're definitely going to need Matt Ryan. And you know my motto, this is a situation where stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars. And in this case here, they're going to have to come up big. They're going to have to come up big and get this win on the road because if Tampa Bay should squeak out a win this weekend, that division is tied once again. And keep in mind, this would be a division loss. So this could be a big game for Atlanta. If I'm Atlanta, I don't play around with Carolina. Listen, Cam Newton went on as probably the best quarterback in the game. I know it's debatable, but when he's on, there is not too many better. It's not too many better. So this is going to be a big game. And then you have also on Sunday night, Denver going into Kansas City. I think Denver is on life support as far as playoff go. I really think they're holding on by a string. They're going to need some help. But if they are going to make that last push in that last march, I believe it starts now. They're going to have to find a way to go into Kansas City and pull off the win. Now, Kansas City is coming off probably a disappointing loss to Tennessee after beating Oakland a week before. So look for Kansas City to get back to their winning ways. But this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a dogfight. Daniel Lim is commenting about Atlanta has played a team with a top 15 defense this year. I'm not sure who they played, where the defense is ranked at the time. But I'll say this, you can only play who's in front of you. And whether it's a good defense or a bad defense, sometimes it's tougher to play against bad defenses because if you lose against those bad defenses, then really you get the finger pointed at you. So you just suit up and play who's in front of you. Shout out to my niece, Yanisty. She says she likes the show. What's going on with the Knicks? Hey, I'm going to get to the Knicks a little bit later in the show when I get to the NBA. But, you know, I'm probably one of the biggest Knicks fans. Good to hear that you're a Knicks fan. Us Knicks fans, we got to stick and root together. So that's where we're going with that. So Denver and KC should be a good game. I look for Kansas City to get back to their winning ways and just finish the hopes and dreams of Denver playoffs. I look for them to just go in there and get that win. Now, I'm going to make a prediction here, and I'm going to stand by this prediction. Now, I've been wrong before, but I'm going to make a prediction, and anybody who's out there, call me up. I'm willing to listen to you. I'm going to make a prediction that in the NFL, the Final Four is going to come down to, hey, Lisa, how you doing? Good to hear from you. Good to see you. In the AFC, it's going to be New England and Oakland. And in the NFC, it's going to be Dallas and Atlanta. Now, I don't know the seeding right now, but I think that's what it's going to come down to. New England and Oakland, Dallas and Atlanta. And for my Super Bowl picks, and yes, you heard it here from on Chopping It Up with Ramel. You heard it here first from Ramel. It's going to be Oakland versus Dallas in the Super Bowl. And I'm not sure who's going to win that, but if I had to choose, this is going to pain me to say it. I think Dallas wins the Super Bowl this year. I think Dallas wins the Super Bowl. It's going to be history made with first time a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back leading the charge and winning the Super Bowl. I think Dallas will be victorious in the Super Bowl. I think that their ball control and running game will be effective. I think Elliott will be a major problem. I think that Dallas wins the Super Bowl against Oakland. I know it's early, but I'm excited. It's playoff races, playoff times, and I just see it that way. If you got any questions, comments, please give me a call. I'm taking all calls. I have no problem with that. Just give me a call. All right, we're going to move along to the NBA now. Let me tell you something. Daniel Lim is like, Dallas wins the Super Bowl. I'm done. I'm turning Facebook off now. Yeah, I think Dallas wins the Super Bowl. I think that I think their running game is going to be a problem for most teams. So I like Dallas to win the Super Bowl. I want to get to the NBA real quick, and I'm going to tell you, last night Cleveland beats Milwaukee. All right, in the home and home series. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jabari Parker will be the real deal in the future to come. I think that they are brewing a big two and looking for a third. Now, Chris Middleton has been out with an injury all season. Maybe he can be that third. But I think that they're a point guard away from really making noise in the NBA. They're a little young. I hope Jason Kidd is the right guy for the job. I'm not sure if he is or he isn't. But I look for them to grow and come of age. The Milwaukee team with Giannis and Jabari Parker, that's a nice little young tandem there. I would say that at one point Giannis looked like he might have had a little Kevin Durant in him, but I think he's a little bit more than Kevin Durant because he has the ability to play point guard as well at about 7 feet tall. He's very athletic. He's a hard person to guard. And right now, Jabari Parker is looking like a young Melo. I mean, when he came out of college, he was compared to Carmelo. And right now, he's looking like a young Carmelo. I think he's only going to get better. He's only going to get stronger. Milwaukee's going to be a problem in the future. I really think so. We're going to see more from them as it goes on. But yes, I believe they're going to be a problem in the future. Yes, they are. I think they will be a problem. And they are a point guard away. Now, they got Greg Monroe there that's seldom used. Really fell out of favor with Jason Kidd. I would say maybe possibly try to trade him. And maybe trade him to Miami for Goran Dragic. They would like to shred his numbers off the books. That's a point guard that's almost forgotten about. At one time, he was considered a top 10 point guard. Hold on, I got a caller. Is there a call on the line?
Hello?
Yes. Is there a call on the line?
Yes.
Yes. Who's calling?
Shania.
Oh, this is Daddy Father's Day. Daddy Daughter Day. Ladies and gentlemen out there, I have my daughter on the line. She's calling in. This is Shania. Shania, what would you like to say?
Do you think that the Knicks will go to the finals?
To the finals? As a fan, short for fanatic, yes. But reality, no, I don't think they will make it to the finals. I think that they're a little ways off from the finals. But I think that the direction that they're heading into is a positive direction, but they're still missing some players. But no, not this year. I don't think they'll get there.
I also have a question.
And this is? Oh, both of my daughters on the line. I'm glad to hear from you. This is really Daddy Daughter's Day. What is your question, Saisha?
Do you think that it would be better for...
What's your question? Are you breaking up?
Zach LaVine. Do you think it's better for Zach LaVine to stay on the Timberwolves or for him to leave the team?
Oh, now that's a great question. Are you a Zach LaVine fan?
Yes.
Okay. No, Zach LaVine has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent. And if Minnesota is patient, they should let him stick out there. But knowing their head coach, he's probably looking for a veteran there. He might be shopping him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. Zach LaVine is an excellent talent. He's still got some growth to go. I think he'll be a great addition to any team. Any team.
If you had to choose what team would you choose?
Well, I'm not sure. I would like to see him in Atlanta. So that might work out. But listen, girls, I thank y'all for calling, but I got another caller. Let me go. Love y'all.
Love you.
My daughter's calling up. That was great. Is there a call on the line? Is there a call on the line?
Yeah, what's up? It's Fred.
Fred, what's happening? I haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing?
Yeah, I just been quiet watching the Giants do their thing.
Uh-oh. We got a Giant fan on. I must have must have hit a nerve when I said Dallas is going to the Super Bowl.
What you said about Dallas?
I said Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So the Giants are number one in my book.
Okay.
I know that Dallas comes about.
Okay.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just calling to let you know the Giants is the team to beat, man. They're the number one team. I don't care about who I say about Dallas, but you got their number, so.
Yeah, you know what? Dallas has won. Dallas has lost the Giants twice this year. And, here's the thing. I think that the Giants, especially Eli, plays his best game against Dallas. And he plays very well in Jerry's world as well. And if they was to meet again, they will play in Jerry's world. But I'll say this, Fred. I think it's tough for any team to beat another team 3 times in one season. It may have been done before, but I think it's extremely tough. And for that reason and that reason alone, that's why I like Dallas's chance against the Giants.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But, go Giants.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, man. No problem, man. I just think I can call in and check in, man. But keep doing what you're doing, bro. I love what you're doing.
Man. Thank you, man. Love you, dude.
Love you too. Later.
Take care. And there you go. That was Fred. He called up talking about the Giants. He says the Giants is number one in his book. I understand he's a Giants fan, and I can respect that. And I'll tell you this. The Giants are a very good team. Their defense, they spent a lot of money on it on the offseason, and it's been playing very well against them this year. I tell you what, I would like the Giants to go to the Super Bowl, but I just don't think they can beat Dallas for a third time. And that's the only concern that I have with the Giants facing Dallas in the playoff. And I think the Giants will have to get past Atlanta. And I'm not sure about that. Atlanta's offense, here's the key to Atlanta. Atlanta's offense is probably the best in the NFL. If not the best, one of the best. Their offense is very strong. I watched Philly beat Atlanta one week, and how they beat them was not so much that they beat them down or their defense beat them up. It's just simply that they ran the ball. And if the Giants' running game is not effective and they get into a shootout with Atlanta, I think that's where Atlanta is going to win because Atlanta's offense is strong. But you got to suit up. You got to play the games. But getting back to the NBA, as I was saying about the Milwaukee team, that trade, I think a trade for Goran Dragic will help Milwaukee quite a bit. I think it will help Milwaukee quite a bit, but we'll see what happens. In the meantime, my daughter called up talking about Zach LaVine, and rightfully so that we go right to that because Minnesota was in town last night in my backyard and faced Atlanta Hawks, and they beat Atlanta with a balanced attack. So, I don't understand Atlanta. I really don't understand Atlanta. They have quality wins on the road and then come home and just get beat. It's really mind-boggling. I'm not sold on Atlanta. I don't think they make the playoffs this year. In fact, I think they should be sellers. I think that they should try to trade a Millsap and see if they can net maybe some young talent or first-round pick. I don't see it in Atlanta. Something is not there. They're not consistent enough. They got a good head coach and one of maybe top 10. So it's not the coach. Maybe they made some changes too soon, but something is not right. And Minnesota has not been performing or playing as we expected them to. So in this case here, I don't know. I have to blame Atlanta for it all. But Minnesota, good win coming into Atlanta and taking on Atlanta and getting a good win. So a quality win. I do think Tibbs is shopping for a veteran. I mean, he has quite a bit of youngsters over there in Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, Zach LaVine, Shabazz, Chris Dunn, Rubio. It would not surprise me if 2 or 3 of them is on the way out. is on the way out. It would not surprise me at all if 2 or 3 of them is on the way out and he gets a veteran. And, you know, although I think Millsap would be a good fit there, I do think that they would look for somebody that's under contract, not someone who's in their final year and could bounce, and then you give up the young talent for nothing. That would be risky. So I could see them looking for somebody that's under contract, maybe for 2 years, and to try to help mentor this team a little bit. Because currently right now, I think they're in need of a veteran over there. Did I miss a call? I think I might have missed a call there. Let me see if I can get this person back on the line. Good thing for caller ID. But yeah, so with that said, let's move right along because, like I said, Minnesota. Let's talk about the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards yesterday, they beat up on the Chicago Bulls, and actually they're one of the hottest teams in basketball right now. The question is there a caller on the line? Is there a caller on the line?
Yeah, it's Al Davis. How we doing?
Al Davis, where you calling from?
Oh, man, I'm over here in Norcross, Georgia.
Okay. Oh, glad to have you. First time caller, Al Davis. Welcome to the show. So tell me, you got a question, comment?
Yeah, question. What are you thinking for the big dance? All bias aside, this year. You think it's a Cowboys year? You think it's going to be a shocker in the mix?
Okay. Now, I don't know if you heard what I said recently, not too long ago, and I was saying that you got a bad connection there.
It's a little loud where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that I think that the Final Four is going to be New England and Oakland and Dallas and Atlanta. And I think Dallas gets the nod and goes to the Super Bowl.
And what was that last thing? Was that Dallas and Atlanta?
Yeah, I think Dallas beats Atlanta and goes to the Super Bowl.
Okay. You know, I'm a Falcons fan, rise up. That's hard to swallow, but they are balling this year.
Oh yeah.
They are balling.
Hey, they got
The young fella can handle the pressure.
We're going to find out. He's been poised all year and only giving us good work. So I can't see why he wouldn't hold up. He's only getting stronger as the season goes, and he's looking like a veteran already. So I do think the Falcons have the best offense in the game, but I think ball control by Elliott is going to keep Matt Ryan off the field and limit him to scoring. And so that's why I go with Dallas. Plus, it should be in Jerry's world.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of Jerry's world, the Falcons are going to have a Mercedes-Benz Dome, and I'm predicting we're going to be in that dance. Healthy Julio, and we're finding a lot of jewels on our roster. So Gabriel showed up, and our running back is only going to get better. So
I agree with that. I like that kid, Gabriel Taylor. The future's bright. Julio Jones is still young. Matty Ice still has some time left. I think Atlanta is going to have something to say in the near future. I like the fact that Vic Beasley got that Pro Bowl nod. That should boost his confidence up. And maybe he can get to like a Von Miller status one day because he could be your best defender. So that's a good look.
Yeah. And our secondary is looking a little dangerous out there. We're taking them to the house now.
And Atlanta's got a bright future. I don't disagree. Don't disagree with that. But it should be fun. Hey, Al, I appreciate the call, man. Don't be a stranger. Please.
Hey, no doubt. I love the show, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, later.
Thanks, Al. Keep tuning in.
All right, no doubt.
Hey, guys, that was Al Davis out of Norcross tuning in for the first time. As you can hear, he's a big Atlanta fan, so that's a good thing. You can't blame him for that. That's a good team. They're on the rise. He says the future looks good, and he's talking about the Mercedes Superdome. So he's already planning for the future. All right. My nephew Rodney says, don't be surprised Giants end up in the Super Bowl. No, I wouldn't be, but I just like Dallas. My other nephew, Drippy out there, he says, stop playing, Uncle Ra. Giants is going to the Super Bowl. I got a caller on the line. Who's on the line?
Hey, brother, this is Carl from New York. What's going on?
Carl from New York, first time caller. How you doing, Carl?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you calling in. What's your comment and question?
Well, actually, I was just because I was driving home, so I didn't really know where you was at in your little show right now.
Okay.
But I did wanted to let you know that I did subscribe to your show. I find that you're very informative, that you definitely know what you're talking about. And sometimes I can actually get a really good pick off of what you say, and it makes a good game for me.
Okay.
But me being a Giant fan and a Knicks fan, I had to holler at you, brother, let you know we in this thing.
Well, hey, Carl, man, you said a mouthful there. I'm glad that you subscribed to me, and I appreciate the support and the love, and I'm glad to hear that I've been kind of insightful and informative to you, so that maybe it helps you enjoy the game, or if you got a fantasy team or something like that, it's helping you out with your picks, man. But Carl, but I'll tell you this, Carl, I love doing this. The more and more people tune in and send me encouragements and offer me encouragement, all it does is just ignites me. And I like what I'm doing. I'm hoping that one day maybe this show can get across the eyes and ears of someone who knows someone that maybe a different future could be ahead for me. But I do appreciate the call. I think the Giants is going to fall short in the playoffs just simply because I don't think they can beat Dallas 3 times in the same season. But the Giants has had one good year, and their future is bright. Their defense is strong. And, you got Odell Beckham there, who I think, I won't say he's the number 1 wide receiver in the game, but if I'm picking a wide receiver first, I'm picking him.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I sometimes agree with you. This is one of those instances where I just don't. The Giants has got the momentum behind them. They got so much going for them in their defense. A little pickup on the offense, and we're going to be the dominant force. Dallas 3 times is definite. There's no reason why we should not beat Dallas 3 times. Your boys, I know I heard you with your pick, Dak, and the other cat is for co-MVPs, but Dak fell a little short in that last game, and I think that might have took that little co-MVP away from him. But the running back still got the game in. So I'm going to disagree with you. We're going to take it to Dallas again if they come and see us. They don't want to see us.
Well, I'll say this. In that Giants-Dallas game, Dak, he was rattled. The pressure got to him. It was probably his worst game of the season. I believe he threw 2 picks. But then he responded the following week against Detroit, I believe. Not Detroit, against Tampa. And he went 32 for 36, had the second highest completion percentage of 30 passing attempts or more in a game. Just outstanding by him to bounce back that way. Listen, I don't disagree, or I can't. Let's put it this way. I do understand where you're coming from about the Giants, and I do know this, that Eli Manning has great games at Jerry's World, but I just think it's tough to beat any team 3 times in the same season. But the Giants do have the Cowboys' numbers. I mean, they do have them. The Cowboys are 12-0 against the NFL, but they're 0-2 against the Giants. So you may have something.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm looking forward to tonight's game so we can solidify our spot. We're definitely taking to the Eagles tonight. We're going to get our spot in. And when you're back on the show, I'm going to make sure I'm home where I can listen in so I know when I'm calling in, I can hit you with some really good questions.
Okay.
But again, keep up the good work, brother. I think you're on a really good path. And yes, somebody will hear you. And you might just get that chance that you're looking for. Just keep doing what you do. Stay diligent.
I appreciate that, but I'm gonna throw this out at you and everybody else out there. Yo, I'm giving finder's fee if you know somebody. You know what I mean? I'm giving finder's fee. Hey, thanks for the call, Carl. And please don't be a stranger. Call again.
All right, my brother. Enjoy it. Be safe.
All right. And there you go, Carl. First time caller out of New York. Giants fan, Knicks fan. Didn't even touch on the Knicks, but I guess with the Giants in their playoff run, that was important to him at the time. All right, but moving along in the NBA, and there was some games last night. OKC beat up on New Orleans, but Westbrook, the story again. 42 points. This guy, does he ever sit down? Does he ever stop? This guy is non-stop. When I say non-stop, this guy is non-stop. Man, he is my MVP. And I can appreciate him. I know that I'm not going to turn on an OKC game and see that he's sitting out for rest. This guy's going to play every game. But that's 42 points. But the team I want to talk about is Sacramento. And I touched on this the other day on one of my shows. You know, last night, they came from 20 points down in the third quarter on the road to beat Utah. Ty Lawson, coming off the bench, played exceptionally well. After his 55-point performance the night before, DeMarcus Cousins had relatively a quiet night, but he did manage to have about 18, 19 points. But they came back from 20 points behind. With the loss that Portland had to Dallas, they are now tied for the 8th spot in the West. Does Sacramento, and this is my question to you guys, does Sacramento trade Cousins, or do they get rid of everybody in the front office for not bringing him help? Because, again, you don't know when a center of this ability or talent is coming back around. I mean, get him some quality veterans on that bench that can get his head screwed on tight, because you trade this guy, I'm sure he's going to better wherever he goes. And I don't know if you're going to get equal in return, equal dollar for him. Will San Antonio trade LaMarcus Aldridge for him? Will Cleveland offer Kevin Love and Iman Shumpert? These are the trades that do you really want Valanciunas from Toronto in Sacramento fans? I don't think so. All right? I mean, are you going to be able to get Porzingis from the Knicks for him? If I'm the Knicks, I consider that hard. But what are you going to get for him in return? Do you get J.J. Redick and DeAndre Jordan from the Clippers? My question is to you, what are you going to get in return? Do you want Jay Crowder and Amir Johnson and a first-round pick from Boston? I say get rid of the management team, the management group, get somebody over there that knows what they're doing, and surround this guy with some players. The guy just wants to win. He's out there. He's giving a maximum effort every night. Yeah, he's a little loose up top, but hey, that's part of his passion. Respect the guy. Respect him. Get him some help. Get him some help. For my NBA fans out there, let me ask you, with the Wizards, winners of 5 of their last 6 games, and it's looking like it's coming together under Scott Brooks over there, and the play of John Wall and Bradley Beal, do you make a trade for DeMarcus Cousins? Do maybe you send Morris, Otto Porter Jr. and a first-round pick for DeMarcus Cousins? Is Wall and Bradley Beal, are they a top 5 backcourt, or are they top 3? I mean, I know who's number 1, Clay and Steph. But who's number 2? Is it Damian and McCollum in Portland? Or is number 2 Kyle Lowry and DeRozan? And whoever's number 2, is the other one number 3, or do they fall behind John Wall and Bradley Beal? Good questions there. Hopefully I get some responses on that. But yeah, who is the top 3 backcourt or top 5 backcourt in the NBA right now? Where do you put Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley? Should Chris Paul and J.J. Redick be mentioned? Who are the top backcourts in the NBA right now? But listen, that's going to do it for my show today. I want to thank those who called up. Yeah, it started out as Daddy-Daughters Day as my daughters called up. Good to hear from Shania and Syasia. They were asking some questions about the NBA. For those who don't know, my family, we're big NBA fans. We sit around and we watch games together. And it's funny, we all root for nearly different teams. But we will sit down and watch the games. And when it's playoff time, it can get a little loud over here. We do enjoy the playoff basketball around here. All right? I think my son is a Laker fan. I think they all hit Knicks fans. But my wife, she roots for Cleveland. Shania, my baby daughter, she roots for Golden State. My oldest daughter, Syasia, she was once upon a time a Laker fan, but I think she's leaning towards Minnesota these days. All right. But yeah, we're big NBA fans around here, so we sit up and we watch games a lot. So thanks for calling in, girls. I want to thank Fred for calling up. I want to thank Carl for calling up. And I want to thank everybody else for tuning in and sending me comments and so forth. And if I failed to mention you, I apologize, but I do thank you all. And once again, you can follow me on YouTube, Troy Ramel Royal, Troy Troy, just search it. Ramel, Ramel, Royal, Royal. And then Facebook.com/Chopping It Up with Ramel. That's going to do it for the show today rather. So just keep tuning in. And as I always say, I'll see you in 24. Peace and blessings.
Chopping it up with Ramel. Chop, chop.